Flag football is one of the fastest growing sports in America. And right now, North Carolina is falling behind. Now, there's been a proposal for the NCHSAA to sanction flag football for high school sports starting in the fall of 2026. So the NCHSAA, the board, they have a decision to make. Do you want to lead or do you want to fall behind? Now, thousands of student athletes across North Carolina, they're already playing flag football. It's been a pilot program for the last 3 years. There's teams that have played in the fall, teams that have played in the spring, and it's essentially acted as a club sport for high schools over the last 3 years, and it continues to grow. But flag football is not yet officially sanctioned by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association. Now, what does that mean? That means that games are taking place at different times for different schools. Some are in the fall, some are in the spring. Season lengths are different. It means that there's not an official champion, even though there have been state champions the last 2 seasons. It's not recognized by the NCHSAA at this point. There's no structured support. Really getting this sport off the ground in North Carolina has been a grassroots effort by a number of leaders within the state. There's been limited access for athletes. There's no structured programs at this point statewide. So JV programs, varsity programs have really been, successful based on the staff members at those schools wanting to put those club sports together. And finally, inconsistent rules and procedures. While there has been an NFHS or National Federation of High School Sports rulebook come out for flag football over the last year or so, there still have been inconsistent procedures going on across the state because those schools are not required to follow an NFHS rulebook at this point. So schools in the East, in the West, in the Triangle have all been doing things differently when it comes to their game rules, when it comes to scheduling, and there has been very few consistencies except for that state tournament that has taken place. Once the sport gets sanctioned by the NCHSAA or the State Athletic Association, everything changes. The level of support, the level of consistency that the sport receives all goes up once sanctioning takes place. That means that funding may go up, or at least will be budgeted, right? Right now, the schools are reliant on finding extra money, either the schools or the school districts, to support a club flag football team, right? Paying for travel, for officials, for uniforms, for equipment. All of those things take money. And right now, that's money that was not budgeted for those schools or for those school districts because it's not a sanctioned sport. Once that sport is sanctioned, even if there's no more total money in the pot, that pot at least will get divvied up with flag football in mind. It also means recognition. The NCHSAA puts on state championships for all of its sanctioned sports. Right, the basketball championships are normally held at Wake Forest, at least the last few years, and that's been awesome. It's a cool environment for the players, the officials, the teams, everyone. Imagine an awesome state championship environment for girls flag football. Now, it's been at Durham County Memorial Stadium the last 2 years, and that's been great. But the level of marketing, promotion, coverage that those championships will get when it becomes a sanctioned sport. Oh, and the number of teams across the state that will be eligible and vying for that championship is only going to level up the play and level up the experience. And structure, right? Right now, there's no structure when it comes to flag football in North Carolina. There's schools, districts, and conferences that are playing in the spring, Most are playing in the fall, but it depends on what area of the state you're in. There's some schools and districts that are playing by different rules. They have different equipment. And there really is no structure across the state to the officiating training that we are receiving or providing to officials to officiate flag football. We know that that's a huge piece of the puzzle. Most importantly, it's going to create more opportunities for student athletes. Flag football is an exciting game. It's one of the fastest growing sports in the world. It'll be in the Olympics in 2028. And there's a lot of excitement behind it. There are lots of girls across North Carolina that want to play. And because it has not been sanctioned to this point, really the success of those teams at the schools is reliant on the staff members at those schools who decide to or not to take an interest in creating and starting a team. Sanctioning will also create consistent safety standards and a higher quality of play overall. Now, as I mentioned, flag football is growing rapidly across the country, and it's seeing a lot of investment from groups like the NFL, from Fanatics, from USA Football, and many others who are getting into the game. We've seen flag football at the Pro Bowl. We just saw recently that Fanatics did a flag football championship on ESPN with Tom Brady and lots of NFL ex-players playing against the USA flag football team. Of course, the USA flag football team kind of kicked their butt a little bit. But that's on ESPN, right? We're seeing a lot of investment from the NFL in youth flag football leagues. And that's really how a lot of these states, and North Carolina included, got their pilot programs started, was from funding through the NFL. And that means that participation is increasing. A recent article by Athletic Business shows what this growth looks like nationwide. At the high school level, 68,847 girls participated in high school flag football during the 2024 and 2025 school year. That is a 388% growth in 3 years in those participation numbers in the NFHS. Now, that's only with 17 states currently sanctioning flag football as a high school sport. There are 16 states, including North Carolina, that are in the pilot stage that are voting on sanctioning here soon. So just imagine how those numbers will continue to grow. And it just shows that girls want to play. And in North Carolina specifically, those players have shown that they are excited to participate in the game. When the pilot program started about 3 years ago, the number of schools initially playing was relatively small based on a grant to the Wake County School District by the Carolina Panthers and the NFL, culminating in about 3 weekends of gameplay for the first season. And that has grown drastically over the last 3 years. In the 2024-25 school year, 119 high schools across the state of North Carolina fielded girls' flag football teams. That number has grown to 137 schools during the 2025-26 school year, with some additional schools playing in the spring that will add to that number. Now, what's the threshold for becoming a sanctioned sport with the NCHSAA? Well, from the handbook of the NCHSAA, page 16, when 25% or more of the schools in North Carolina, members of the NCHSAA, are fielding a team in a sport, it should become sanctioned. And flag football has met that threshold each of the last 2 years. So what are we waiting for? It's time for flag football to become a sanctioned sport. Other schools in the state of North Carolina have already taken the leap to add flag football as a sanctioned sport, but those schools happen to be one step up at the collegiate level. Meredith College has announced that they will start playing flag football as a varsity sport in 2026-27, and Conference Carolinas with a number of schools in North South Carolina have already started playing collegiate flag football. So there's opportunities now for the high school students in North Carolina to learn how to play the game in high school, to grow, to get recruited, to get better, and then to continue playing into college with the potential of scholarships and other supports taking place. It's even becoming a Division I varsity sport at some schools, with the University of Nebraska just announcing here within the last few months that they are adding flag football as a varsity sport as well. The momentum is strong for collegiate flag football to continue to grow. We need high school flag football in the state of North Carolina to keep up with that momentum. Yes, there are always challenges with adding a new sport to the NCHSAA list. Budgets, procedures, staffing, expertise, rules, all of those things need to be figured out, including what season that this sport is going to play. By the way, my vote is the fall. But we have to overcome those challenges. It is time to add flag football as a sanctioned sport. Now, a lot of the legwork has already taken place with the new NFHS rulebook that came out last year. That rulebook does create a uniform rule set for the sport. It also has a few different options that can be state adaptations, meaning you could select a couple of different sizes of field. You could choose if you want to kick field goals. By the way, we do not. And there's some other modifications as well. But because we have that rulebook in place, there already is a structure that the NCHSAA can align with, teams can align with, officials can align with. So we already have that consistency, really there for the taking. We have to add flag football. It is time. The athletes are ready. The officials will be ready. The communities are certainly ready. And the future is now for girls flag football in the state of North Carolina. If you agree or have a comment, please leave that down below on this video. I would love to hear it. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the High School Rev.